take a little piece of tape with, please print your name, and that way that's all set up.
Oh, yeah.
How you floating around today?
I get with them too.
There's probably a seat over there.
Yeah. Okay,
I sit all day.
call the meeting to order. You would please stand for the invocation. And Wayne, you could use the invocation.
Yeah, get up. I'll stumble along, but
Our Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this day, Lord, we thank you for this community. Lord, we just ask you to keep blessing it, we ask you to bless this meeting tonight, be with us throughout the night, and we just ask you to be with the ones that are sick and not able to make it. We ask you, Lord, to be with them and keep them healthy, just get them through the night. Lord, we love you, we ask these things in Jesus' name.
You'll turn to the flag. We'll salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Hilda, can you give us a roll call, please?
Glenn Hunter.
Here.
Tom Trammell.
Tom's out of town.
Vonda Ackerson. Deanna Tibbet. James Baker.
Here.
Bonnie Blackwell. She's out of town. Terry Joyette. Judy Brown.
He's out.
Lori Lilly. Here. Tommy Matthews.
Here.
Wayne Selig.
Here.
Charlie Thompson.
Here.
Terry Hester. Here. Ricky Olson. Here. Vicky Selig. Here. Bill Grimm. Out of town. And Mike Conley.
He's out of town.
Jim Clark. Here. And Jesse Trail. Thank you.
Okay, need a motion to approve excuse members.
Making a motion to excuse the absent members.
Need a
I
second.
second it.
Need a second by Henry. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Before we move on to the secretary's report, I will ask Kim Twickhart to come up to the board. We have 7 members here, so we do have a quorum. I'll ask Kim to come up so we'll have 8 members tonight. Is that right, Madam Secretary? We have 8?
Perfect, yes, we just have a,
Okay, we'll have a report. Hilda, do you have anything to report on?
no, I don't have any additional reports. I've had some complaints about, votes, but that's ongoing.
Well, that wouldn't be in your secretary duty, right? That's all right. Okay, we'll move on then to the treasury report. Vicki?
We have missed the agenda in the minutes.
And I did, and I sure appreciate that. It's been a long
purpose, sorry.
but that's why we have people like you on board.
You're good.
So, board members, you have a copy of the minutes? You had a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Any corrections?
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
A second.
Motion by Wayne and second by Charlie. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Now we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Did you do the agenda?
I did.
No, sir.
I already have a-
You're like speeding through this.
I thought we were gonna meet over there, so I'm
I
kind
know,
of,
you're all
I already had
messed
time
up.
out, so, well, let's go ahead and approve the minutes.
Now bring
the
the
agenda, the agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda. Second.
Man. We have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
who is the second?
Any-
Jack Baker?
Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. How's that song go? Just go ahead and slap me or something?
Now, Fred, now the
You sure you want to give your report, Vicki?
I'd like to do it instead of you, is that okay? All right. The Seacoast checking account has 22,881.65. The Seacoast Reserve Savings Account 503.61. Our CD account, because we've been banking the interest and it's compounding, is 52,499.04. Our membership account checking is 153,251.35 for a total of 229,135.65. A couple months ago, you approved for me to move money from the membership account to our checking account, but just so you know, that hasn't been done yet, but that will be done this week. Because it's down to 22,000, so we need to go ahead and move it over. On the back of the monthly report is our P&L. The only thing out of the ordinary that I wrote checks for this time period was Vonda had receipts for the fish fry, Easter event, and our scanner table of $386. Bonnie Blackwell was reimbursed for the AED supplies and the cabinet, which was about $488. We did a lot of enhancements to the clubhouse that are broken down to 5 different companies working on that for a total of about $13,000. That's the only thing out of the ordinary monthly bills that I wrote in the last 30 days.
Okay.
That was on the clubhouse.
No,
This is
that's
the
the
A-frame.
Y'all will just come through the chair and appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? You have a final balance or a net income, I see.
Any questions on the P&L? Anybody have any questions on the financial report?
So we need a motion then to approve the treasurer's report with the expenses.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report with the expenses.
Second by James. The motion was by Charlie. Is there any further discussion on the financial report? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the president's report. Terry?
I did the quarterly water test, it did pass, it was come back satisfactory. The cemetery's been done, I don't know if anybody's been by there, but it looks really good.
It really does look good.
Yeah, they done a great job over there, I'm glad to see that's finally been taken care of. And that's about it. Do you want me to do the membership, or do you want me to wait till communications?
No, we can do that, but going back to the cemetery, now the cemetery is actually, everything is ground down to ground level.
Yeah, but around the trees, we're gonna have to get somebody going there, like mow around the trees,
Right.
that was left.
So we're working on a contract to just take care of that on a
Yeah,
regular basis,
yeah.
like we do with our parks.
When they mow our regular parks, they're gonna take care of the cemetery.
Okay. All right, why don't you go ahead and do the membership, that'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. On the Columbia side, we got 676 members. On the Swanee side, we got 228 members, for a total of 904 members.
Okay? You have anything else?
No, that's it.
Are you,
Besides, I did have one member call and said that she wishes that people that use the parks when they drop trash and stuff, that she wishes they would pick up their trash and all, because this is our park.
yeah, we all.
She said I could say her name, but I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. What about, Labor Day weekend?
No, yeah, that's, I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
I want it in the minutes. Nikki Olson, Sherry Olson, Priscilla Hester, and Sharon Shepherd will be the gate greeters. And if any of them may not get sick or whatever, I will step in. And if we have anybody volunteers, they will have to volunteer for Hager Park, and it will have to be an all-day volunteer, because I'll take that volunteer and move them to another park,
Okay.
just so, it's like a surprise.
Memorial
thing.
Day?
Okay.
I mean, but they'll be starting Memorial Day weekend on May the 24th. The attorney told me to have the names put in the minutes.
I'll give you those names again, please.
Nikki Olson, Sherry Olson, Priscilla Hester, and Sharon Shepherd. And they've been loyal for the last 4 years about being there every day, on time, and not leaving me holding the bag, so I appreciate it for
What
that.
is Priscilla's last name, please?
Esther,
Esther. Oh, and that is for Memorial Day, not Labor Day.
Memorial Day weekend, yeah. It
Don't tell me I
starts,
said
it
Labor
goes
Day.
through
Yeah.
Labor Day.
Yes,
It's
you did.
Memorial through Labor Day.
All through Labor Day.
Trying to get a head start.
I'm trying to get rid of some.
Yeah, I think so. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
You called about a tree at, was it Point Park or the boat
Point
ramp?
Park.
It was Point Park, so that, somebody got that cleaned up, you know who did that?
No, Debbie France called me about it. She tried to get it moved, but she couldn't move it, so I assumed probably somebody went
I
down
went
there
by there
and helped
yesterday
her.
and there was, I couldn't find anything, so
Yeah.
they took it all the way completely.
Yeah, I appreciate the members that step up, do stuff like that, don't expect, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
Okay,
do got some good people out here.
did you talk with Bill about, park manager report?
No,
We don't really have anything to report on that, I know he's on vacation. So we'll move on then to, communications report, do you have anything in communications, Charlie?
The camera came in for the clubhouse, not been installed yet, but I do have that. And the replacement part for, Midpoint is in.
Okay. All right,
The, information on that is, was emailed to the treasurer.
okay. Any questions of communications committee? Okay, are we back up over at Swanee? That's having some trouble there, y'all got it back
We
over?
were, yes, that's taken care of. Yeah, that's all good over
Okay, we'll move on then to,
new business, but we don't have any.
don't have any new business right now. Okay, so we'll move on then to, old business. I think the only thing that we have under the old business right now is the clubhouse. And, all the insulation is, in place, all of the, drywall is up, everything has been reconnected. We didn't have to pull a permit, everything, this was a separate location, so we just did some electrical repair and, moved the panel over. So we used some of the old equipment. The only thing left right now is the, air conditioning for this building, to be replaced and the 2 mini splits and compressor to be set up at the, clubhouse. It should have already been done by now, so we're about a week or 2 behind on that. We'll be installing the floor, the sub base for the floor, and then the painting, and that'll pretty much finish up the clubhouse. At that point, that should happen pretty quick. One interesting thing, we did, I don't know if I've had a chance to tell all the board members, but we used isomine to insulate the clubhouse with. So, the rafters, underneath the roof, the A-frames on both ends, all the way around and through, is, insulated. It's, on a hot day, it's 10 or 15 degrees cooler than it ever was. So, we should be able to really cool that. It'll be real nice inside when it's finished. And we did a veneer plaster, on the walls. It really does look nice. We've got, LED lights, 8 LED lights, with a variable switch, so we can dim them up and down, so that'll be pretty nice on the inside. The electrical outlets have hookups for chargers for your phone, so those are all around the room. There's 12 of those, so that'll make it kind of easy. And the camera system will be installed in the very center of the room, so that'll be in place and make it a lot easier for us to manage all the video going forward. That's pretty much what we have. They've come a long way with that, so I'm pretty excited about that. Is there any other old business, board members? Okay, Dick.
CPR training, we had a very good turnout for people signing up for that, just so it's noted on the video that we have still some vacancies for this Thursday, May the 15th, 9 o'clock here for CPR training. The next one would be May the 22nd at 2 o'clock, and then May the 29th at 5 o'clock. And all total, we've had,
There was May the, what was the last one?
the 29th. All total, we have 19 people signed up.
Oh, very
Excuse me.
good.
At 5 o'clock, on May the 29th?
Yes, 5 o'clock. That way, it's staggered in case people work or they can get off at different times during the day. But we still have vacancies in all of those,
But why do you still have vacancies?
on all of them. I can still put people in all of the classes, so. But we do have 19 people signed up altogether, so, you know, every summer, if we get 19 or 20 people educated on CPR and first aid, that only helps us in the parks if something should go wrong or something should happen, so we can help each other.
Okay, so, I think that is great, you got 19, so you still got 3 more days open, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Hopefully this can get out to the general, membership, and they can realize there's an opportunity to do some CPR, especially if they've got young children.
Right.
Be third.
And
Okay.
now that we have an AED, you know, he can also educate us on how to use that.
Absolutely. Okay, one other thing on the old business I would want to bring up is that, last week spent a good bit of time working with, the county managers from Live Oak, county managers from Columbia County. We're working on getting the parking signs, the tow-away zone signs for our front entrance. The front entrance is starting to be a dumping ground. You have to realize we got 3 miles of state park that's closed. You've got 3 miles of private park, and you've got about 100 feet of a leased property that's leased by Duke Energy that's being violated for access, because when the Greenway trails came in, the fence had to come down. So it's a very easy access to come through. We're still working with Duke Energy, very encouraged with what they're saying that we are very close to getting agreed to. Working close with Swanee River Water Management because of the river's edge there. There's some things that we're going to be doing along that easement there. And the sheriffs are now starting to step up their patrols and asking people to move their cars. There's the potential for the tow-away. So what's going to happen is once that's finally set in place, the county has a resolution. They have their ordinance in place because of the resolution for their meeting. That will enable a towing company to come pick these cars up immediately. And it could be very, very expensive if people truly want to violate. A lot of people are playing games thinking they're parking out of the way, but it's not going to work. And they're going to be very sad when their cars are towed away or impounded. Very excited for law enforcement to be working with us. We had a meeting at Vicky's house to work with the Swanee side and had the sheriff and our attorneys are going to be meeting with law enforcement and with the state's attorney on how all these rules will come down and how they will be enacted so that we can work to protect that area, because what's happening, there's a lot of people going in at night, building fires, some stories of camping down in this area, but it's destroying the river down there, and it's also violating the intent of what the Greenway Trail was, because it's a very nice trail, and they really enhanced the railroad trestle for the public to use, and a lot of folks are really using that area. So it's up to us to try to work, and they're going to need all of us as members throughout Three Rivers that come through this area and see activity there. We've got to be able to report that. Now, we're working on a process so that we can make it a very easy way to report so that law enforcement understands all of this is in place, this is a call about this, we understand what the responsibility is, and we can take action. Right now, there's a lot of things up in the air. One agency's not sure what the other agency's doing, who owns water, whatever, but we're bringing all the parts together. And I'm very, very encouraged by what everyone's saying, because it's the only way to protect the area. And of course, there's a lot of people that come in. I don't know if you realize this or not, 90% of the people that come to the Itchtuttony Springs up above 27 are not from here. They're visitors. They're from out of town. What's happening is because the parks get crowded, a lot of folks are being pushed. There's only one little area that they can truly access, have been able to access uninhibited. And we've got a lot of locals that are abusing it. So we're going to work a little bit more on that. There's a little bit of destruction down there at the railroad trestle right now with the fence. Very much concern of the Swanee County and Columbia County side, because they're the ones responsible for maintaining it. County governments, the state, or Duke leased the property. The state and feds through the Greenway awarded it, but the counties are responsible for maintaining it. And we're working as a partner with the county governments to keep the eyes on that and do all that we can do to help police it. Any questions on it? Yeah, James.
I noticed there was somebody parking Windstream boxes today,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know if maybe we need to contact Windstream or have something that, because if Windstream can't get to that, and well, we have over 900 members.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Good luck if you can get them on the phone.
There was no
You know what I'm saying? But if we can find a way to get to them, we probably need to let them know that, because I don't think that they want vehicles parking next to their equipment. It's tough enough with the internet as it is. So we don't want anybody destroying or creating a problem around that, and that would be a good excuse for that. We're also working for the car door going down for the right-of-way for the county road. That's Utah, I guess, going this way. So we're working on that and back. So the other thing, there's been a few suggestions. Potentially, we have a lot of people that were coming in and parking up here and then walking back down here, and they're not members, but they're utilizing our member spaces. So maybe at some point in the future, there may be needing to be some identification. If you're gonna park up there, you're gonna need to be a member, because it's for members only. It's not for people outside. Would you agree? So, okay, anything else?
I had a question, if I can.
Sure.
Where can you park to access that greenway? If you're a public and you wanted to ride your bike or
That's a good question.
access
I
the
guess you've
beautiful
gotta
bridge
ride
you're
your bike
saying?
there. That's what
I
you need
gotcha.
to do.
So,
I don't know if
like
Swanee
Fort
County
White
or
has a
Columbia-
parking spot, or
Yeah,
Fort White?
if you want a long ride, that'll be a good one. It's about 4 miles, 4
I was
miles.
just curious.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Question, who owns where our sign is, the bulletin board?
Uh-huh.
Is that our?
That's actually, that sign is right there on the edge of the county right of way. And that,
County right away?
right, and that,
Who owns next to it where they're parking all the
Yes.
time?
that is I think it's a family trust now. It used to be a guy named Montgomery from Lake City, but I haven't really looked at that lately, so I don't know.
I'd like to know, because I've taken pictures of the different cars that I've been noticing parked all along in there. And I have a whole video full of them, and who would I give this to?
Well, that information is very good for us, because we're actually transferring as much of that to the county governments to see.
So I
we can-
should contact Mr. Kitchens and let him know I have all these pictures.
Not Mr. Kitchens. Actually, if you want to send it to the board here, we will put it together to get to the county manager. We're working with them. Actually, the owner in that particular case may want some no parking signs there on their property, if you understand what I'm saying, because then anybody would be trespassing on that private property. You understand what I'm
Then we
saying?
should put them in where we have the property, shouldn't we?
We don't have any property there. That's the county
Our
road.
sign is on somebody else's property,
It's on the county.
It's on the county right of way, right on the edge of
and
the county
they're
right of way.
allowing us to put a sign there.
Well, you were here when we put it there. You were president of the board, weren't you,
We can
at
put
that
it
time?
there, it's
So-
not blocking anything, as long as it's not hurting anything,
So there's been no complaint from that. I think it's fine like it is,
it's
but
allowed.
if it becomes a problem, we'll move it.
You can put a yard sale sign.
Okay, so, any other, yes, yes, sir.
So I've turned all the information to Tree Code Show, life and insurance. So I work for y'all. I don't have to answer no memberships, so I have to talk to me, discuss anything. If they have any problems, they should take up with you.
Yeah, just call me.
And
Yep.
stuff like that, so no members allowed. They can't put Facebook stuff, disrespect me, slander me, and harass me to cause my job to lose business.
Okay, no problem. Just, if you have a complaint with something, just send them to me, okay? That'd be fine. Thank you. Okay, let's move on then to, any old business, any other old business? Anybody? Okay. We'll move on then to property owners. Anyone want to address the board? Property owners? Yes, ma'am.
In January, I've been trying to,
Hey, Leanne, let me, can I cut it short for you?
yeah.
I have your documents, so I'll make
Okay,
arrangements.
but no, that's not, I
Okay.
already, I see that was took care of, everything's good, the annual
Okay.
report said, okay, but no, this is
Okay,
the other part of it in
Okay.
January. We're gonna get to that now, the bylaws. In the bylaws, again, I've said it before, and everybody agreed, that ranchette They are not allowed to get a key, neither are anybody else. No other subdivisions, I don't care who put that in there, they were wrong, it needs to be removed. The Articles of Corporation say that the members have to vote to have rescind anything out of those bylaws. There's another thing in those bylaws where it has, if you don't pay your dues, and you can be leaned on at the discretion of the board, that's in there as well. But what's not in there is the fact that the deed restrictions state those that buy their new property owners after 1990 of that date. Okay, and the reason that's in there is because nobody wanted to change the deed restrictions. We were under non-mandatory, we all signed, covenants, paperwork that they gave you restrictions because, again, the old restrictions said white Caucasian race only, and that was basically, should have been fixed by Mr. Hodor, and then they should have done something, but in 1990, the Trooper Board at that time did do something. The property owners, by law, usually when you change deed restrictions, you have to have them sign, yes, we wanna do this, a majority of them. However, they didn't do that because we wouldn't do it. And so they said they were gonna go to that number 11 clause, or 11 paragraph out of the old deed restrictions that was just before the only white Caucasian race, whatever, that was 12 paragraph. Okay, so they used that paragraph which said that the seller, which was Mr. Hodor, and a committee. However, I talked with Mr. Hodor's son because he's passed away. His son said that no, there was no paperwork on that. But when I said, you gave us, you were Three Rivers Inc., your father, they gave us documents, we signed it saying that we did not have to be members. He's like, okay, we didn't do this, we did not do the deed restrictions, that was whoever did that, I guess that board, we have nothing to do with those subdivisions. When we give those parks over, whatever there are, if there is even any, that would go to the people, the lot owners, and then they choose their members. I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. He goes, well, that would be something that your lawyers, or some lawyers would have to get with the board. That would be not including us, we didn't do it. So there's four, no one's gonna be able to go back on the Hodors and say, hey, you guys, you said we didn't have to be members because see, in 1990, those guys knew that would come up, now or whenever, and it's up. I brought it up in January when I made my dues. I said, I'm not included in this here application. It says, you agree with this? I'm like, I do not agree with it. I would have never agreed with it, and therefore I am a member if I want to or not. And I choose to with Trepo Inc. Nothing to do with any POA. I'm not involved with that. That's how I feel about it, because when I bought my property and signed that, it was for.
Yeah, you'll always be a member.
That is.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I'm just saying, if you pay your dues, if you don't pay your dues, the Articles of Corporation said you are kicked out, you're not a member.
Well, you're
Now,
not,
the
you're not kicked out,
bylaws-
you just can't access the parks through the association.
Well, you're still not a member, you're kicked out.
But let me just say this, let me cut you short, we're almost at your 2 minutes, okay? So,
It's 3
the
minutes, and
attorney-
the thing is though, anybody that bought their property and they can read, it says, you have to be a member, you can be leaned on. Now, when you buy something and it says that,
yeah,
have fun going to court with it, because you may lose trying to do anything, but then again, you never know with the situation this thing is.
okay.
But as far as us that were here before then, that did not sign anything like that or whatever, I do not like that application for membership where it says, you agree to the bylaws, you agree to the deed restrictions, and no. And I think that because the bylaws say it's at the discretion of the board then has to look before they lean on anything and say, make sure this person's not someone that's had their property or an heir of that person. Because if my kid, he's lived there, say, and then I want to give him the property, he's getting my rights. They go right along with that.
Okay, let me just say
inheritance.
this,
Now, that's
all
law.
the points that you've made are before our attorneys right now. So
Yeah.
they are reviewing and
They
working on.
already better know it, because I've got an
Okay,
attorney and he's there.
okay, I appreciate it.
You
They
can't
know,
lean
they
on
better
it,
know
that's
it,
all.
and they know it, and
Yeah.
they're working on it, okay?
I've got an
So-
attorney, and if I get leaned
Okay.
on, then my attorney takes action. Other than that, and it's not hard to get one.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. All right. Anyone else want to speak to the board?
What about the bylaws? Did I get an answer? Since January now, I've been nice, and I've waited and waited. I need an answer. How about an answer? What are we gonna do about getting a vote to rescind that Ranchette's paragraph
Attorney's working on the
in
timeline
the
for how we
bylaws?
do that
Nothing
later.
to do with that, attorney. This is the members have to. take
Now,
a
Leanne, I'm
vote.
gonna have to cut you off, okay?
Go ahead,
All
but
right,
it's-
cut
you
you off.
don't even go by your own bylaw.
All right, does anyone else want to speak
Or the
for? Yes,
Articles of
ma'am.
Incorporation.
I would like to know, a couple of weeks ago, everybody got kicked out of the Swanee Boat Ramp Park. And I would like to know why.
I wasn't aware that everybody was kicked out.
Bill Grimm came down and he said,
Everybody leave.
everybody out, and he called the police.
Why?
Because y'all have. That's what I want to know.
Carrie knows, she just said.
Let me ask you this question. You were there and he said to you that everybody is to be kicked out of this park now?
I did not
We're gonna have
talk,
one at a time, please.
I
Yes,
did
ma'am.
not talk to Bill Grimm.
Okay,
I was told
okay.
to get out by other members who were told by Bill Grimm to get out.
Okay, I don't.
And we were all key holders.
95%
So,
of the people there were.
just one moment, please, okay? I'm reviewing the tape of that day, and I haven't had a chance to see it. I've been out of town. So, we are reviewing that, but you wouldn't be told to get out of the park if you're a member, okay? That I would believe that. So, I'm gonna review the tape, and we'll have you an answer for that, okay? Anybody else? Yeah,
I do. So I'm gonna elaborate on what she does not know. So Bill Grimm did, we had a get together for a friend that they had gotten married. We were 95% key holders, and Bill Grimm told me directly, the reason why he called the cops and was kicking us out was because we did not reserve the pavilion. Well, being a key holder, I'm allowed 12 members at any park without telling anybody anything, because I paid my $175 at the beginning of the year. I don't need a permission from anybody on this board to tell me that I can go to a park. And I definitely don't need anybody to tell me that I can't film from the road, filming anything I want to film. If you don't like it, put a fence up. And if you don't like the work and you're scared of the work craftsmanship that you're doing, and I'm telling the truth.
stay on
You called me
track.
a liar, don't lie to me. That's
Stay
the
on
next question I have. My name's Jared Buttram, by the way, for the board. So the the people that we have cleaning the parks up, if they get hurt, I have video evidence of this gentleman working in our park today that I'm telling you right now, OSHA would have shut the job site down, workers' comp would have shut the job site down, everybody would have shut the job site down. And then I want to know, why is his insurance not being charged? Because I witnessed him cut the tree down, let it crush the fence the first time. Today I had my phone and I filmed it, and as soon as I filmed it, he stopped. So who's responsible for fixing this fence? And then the fence was down since September of 26. September the 26th, the fence had been down that whole entire time. How much liability and dangerous was that?
In the noggin when you're swinging your hand, if you don't mind. I
I,
want to take one to the head.
yeah, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So that is another point. My last point, elections for coming up. Is there gonna be any dates or anything? Because I know you guys sprung on us last time that there were certain dates that people that were out of town couldn't vote. We don't want these rules, again, to affect our voting on Suwannee County. And I also want to know, why does the board censor? How does the board run the Facebook page that censors people? You can't have transparency and censorship at the same time. That does not go hand in hand. That is actual ludicrousy. So all of these things that you guys censor on the Facebook is absolutely ridiculous. I know you don't care, you're yawning. But the last thing that I have is I had a very fine member that many people in this room would say this person is very fine. This person went to Miss Hester's house last month to get her key because she still did not have a key. She took $200 cash to Terry, gave Terry the money inside her house, and on her table was hundreds, 50s, 20s, 10s, and 5s just laying on her table. She reached over, made change of $25 to the lady and handed it back to her. Why is board members' cash money being left at her house? Anybody that can rob it? I mean, how are you making change? And from what I know about Miss Terry's finances, you shouldn't have that kind of money just laying around. I know that personally from her own mouth.
She told me directly, so I'm not slandering. This is direct evidence. She's sitting right there. I said it right in front of her.
You're out of line.
And for her, I have a
You
reimbursement
are
check.
out of line.
I have
Put
a-
it in
let's-
your grocery money.
I have a
Let's stop.
reimbursement
I'm
check
gonna
that I
let him
saw
go
made
now.
payable.
Okay.
I have a reimbursement check that I have seen made payable to Terry Hester with nothing on the memo line for $8,700. How any of you guys are being asked to pull money out of your own pocket after Vicky just stated we have $229,000 is absolutely mind-blowing. Why we don't have a credit card for the board that is very easy to dispute, very easy to tell what was paid for. And then the other thing is why are we accepting cash? Why are we accepting cash at all? There should be no
Because it's
cash
legal
ever.
tender. It's legal tender.
You guys are legal
She
thieves
doesn't have a
too.
criminal record.
You're
You're
what?
legal.
All right, I'm
legal
gonna,
thieves. It's
hey
illegal to
Jason,
steal money when it's cash
what's your
money.
name?
There it
Barry,
is.
what's his name?
Jerry.
Yeah, Jared, my name's Jared Bucket.
Okay, your time is up, so have a seat,
Okay,
okay?
I
Thank
need
you.
an answer for the questions I asked.
Well, we'll get them to you, but I'm not gonna answer them.
Yeah, you
Because of the-
definitely, you're not gonna answer them now?
No, I'm not.
For the record, you just heard that, Jesse?
Yeah.
Thank you, for the record.
Right.
Jesse's here.
Accuse everybody.
Okay.
I'm here.
So anybody else want to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Good, I'm not
Show me
sure.
how the
I'm on the board.
I have proof.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this, we're either gonna come through the board, chairman, or we're gonna go ahead and gavel the meeting, okay? So we'll keep order here. If you have a question, come through me. I'll answer your question. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, you can take it to a higher court, do whatever you need to do. So yes, ma'am.
But I get an
You're
answer.
done, you're done.
Oh, I didn't get an answer.
No,
Okay. Just so
no,
we have.
you're not, I'm not not even gonna address that.
I know you're not, because you hate
Yes,
the
ma'am.
truth.
Okay, I would like to have a copy of the restrictions and protective covenants for Swanee County.
Yes.
Okay.
There are none.
What is your
There
name?
are none.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna take your note down.
There are none.
Okay.
So.
There never has been, not even in the first place. When Mr. Hodar made the first ones, they were put in Columbia County because
I wasn't
the
finished with my
clubhouse is
comment.
here and the principal address is here in Columbia County, and that is
You
why.
haven't been recognized.
So I'm just gonna, we're all out of order.
Can
We're
I
going-
finish my comment?
I wish you could, but the audience is not gonna let you. It doesn't seem like, so if we don't have it quiet, I'm gonna gavel the meeting, okay? So, I'll give you what we've got, okay?
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Okay, great, yes ma'am, what else?
But
And what
in
is
the
your name
meantime,
again?
Marilyn Gorman.
Gorman,
I
okay,
live on the Swanee side.
okay, great, yes ma'am.
And I'm wondering what, because I went on the website to print out the stuff for Swanee County, and there was no covenants, there was no restrictions. So what makes Bill Grimm think he has jurisdiction to come into the boat ramp park
It's part,
and kick us out?
it's all one
There's no-
subdivision.
The board has no jurisdiction
It
over
doesn't
Swanee,
matter,
Okay.
it's still
so
one subdivision.
I
because
would,
there's-
ma'am, can I answer
This
your
is-
question?
this
Okay,
is Columbia
okay,
County.
great, but let me answer your question. The parks are common property that is managed by the Three River State Property Owners Association, so we make the rules.
For the whole
Okay.
But we
subdivision.
don't have rules over at
Yes,
Swanee
you
County.
do in the parks. They are owned by Trepo.
So, we're gonna end the discussion, and Three Rivers State Property Owners Association controls all of the parks, all the property that was
Subdivision.
deeded over from Howard Hodar.
Both sides.
We don't control your covenants and restrictions. You're pretty much covered by county code.
That's right.
Board of County Commissioners, Swanee County,
But
Columbia
this
County.
this is Columbia County, this is not Swanee County.
Swanee County's in there where it says you buy property, and he's
So
talking
I'm
about
gonna
the
go
whole
ahead,
subdivision.
there's nothing more that
Yes,
I
it
can
does.
address, Ms. Gorman.
That's where
related
it
to
is
that.
on
I
Swanee
just
County.
went through the whole thing this afternoon.
Okay.
It has nothing, it has nothing.
Well, our attorney is working on all of it right now, and hopefully very soon we'll have a good
And
answer
will
for you.
those, will that,
Everything will be
will we get to
available,
vote on it?
everything will be available to you,
Will
okay?
we get to vote
On
on
the
We'll
it?
wait and see what
bylaws.
the attorney says, yes, okay? Okay, one last question, John, what do you have, and then we're gonna, go for the day.
In 2017, when we were renewing
Uh-huh,
this because of the marketable title and quote,
say that again?
the marketable title that we were being presented,
Uh-huh, by whom?
at that point,
Somebody
I
wants
asked
to
your
go on the table, I
attorneys
guess.
at that point to find out where the one was for Swanee County.
Somebody delivered pizza?
He's got the
Sorry.
wrong place. Nobody ordered pizza here, did they?
No.
The guys, go catch that guy, tell him he sent it to the wrong place, it'll
No,
cost
they
him.
said,
They said it was for the board.
they said
It was paid to go here.
it was bought, paid for by a member in here.
Yeah.
All right.
I have one other quick
Wait a minute, let me
question.
finish up with,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Joan, okay, Joan, so, go
And
ahead.
we were supposed to, at that point, have the Swanee County restrictions put in place.
Uh-huh.
But the attorney, Rachel Butler, I think it was.
That wasn't 2017,
It was 2020.
What was that?
2020.
No, it was before 2020.
She's talking when Terry Downs went over there and did the mistake.
Oh, and Terry Downs, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with what Terry did.
Huh?
I wasn't really familiar with what Terry did. I remember he was supposed to file something. You were the chairman.
He
No.
crossed off the
It
name.
wasn't me, it was Mr.,
Terry Downs.
no, it wasn't Terry.
It's
She's
right
talking
on
about
paper.
she's talking about the chairman.
John,
She was talking about the chairman.
She's talking about the.
John
paper
Bryant?
Was a
second
board
courthouse.
member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Terry Downs was on board at that time, wasn't he?
No, not
Yeah.
at that point.
Okay. Okay, so what's
And
your
it
question?
was, what they did was they sent that, Columbia County, to Swanee County, putting
I
Lindy
saw that, I
line.
saw the
You
document.
can't do that. It's a notarized item and you're not
Wait,
allowed to do it.
listen, I saw the document, and that doesn't change the board's responsibilities as it relates to the ownership of the park.
But it was
The
your
association.
attorney that did this.
Not in
Under
2017.
their direction.
In
Not
2020.
in 2017, there was no attorney.
It doesn't matter. So
Who
that's
was
over.
Rachel Butler?
She was involved in 2020. We asked her to file what was there in 2020. So it was a moot point, okay?
Well, it wasn't done.
Okay.
And we wrote a letter.
It's
It's
up
not
in the
moot.
courthouse in
At that
Columbia
point,
County,
the
it was done.
dropped the
They
gun.
did, in 2020, they rolled it over.
Okay. So
Anyways,
we're-
if you look at the original one.
Okay, so it is a little, it's a mess, and the attorneys are working on it right now, and we'll have a direct
But it
plan
says
and a
every
process.
10 years it
Okay?
automatically rolls over. It's right in the deed
Okay,
restriction.
so is anyone else?
I have one quick question.
Okay, last one, Ms. Gorman, this is it.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you asking a question.
Okay, when I looked up on, the Department of Commerce
Yes,
for the state of Florida,
yes.
we really should have a certificate of status, and for the last 3 years, we don't have one. And a certificate of status just lets anybody know that pulls up Trito on that website, that certificate lets them know that we are
Active.
active, that we are stable, that we can do business with banks, and
That's in,
la da 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 da.
that's under the business, under corporations, divisions of corporation. Go to Sunbiz, look under
I
divisions
did,
of
it's
corporations.
printed out here.
Yeah, well, they just put the annual report in.
Okay, so-
Everything's been renewed and
We
everything
are,
is good.
we're active through Sunbiz, State of Florida
Yeah,
Corporation.
we are a
Right, But
corporation
not
here.
for a certificate of status, that is separate.
Yes, it says status.
Okay, so anybody else?
We don't
Yeah,
have-
James.
Motion
Yep.
to adjourn?
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Well, that was
We're
fun.
done.
That was worth the price of admission.
There you go, see? Fun for the whole family.
Yes, good seeing you to meet you.
It was good seeing you.